Chapter 88. A song, a psalm of the sons of Korah. For the leader, upon Mahalath Leannoth, Maskil of Haman the Ezrahi. O Lord, God of my salvation, what time I cry in the night before you, let my prayer come before you, incline your ear unto my cry. For my soul is sated with troubles, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am become as a man that hath no help. Set apart among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, whom you rememberest no more, and they are cut off from your hand. You have laid me in the nethermost pit, in dark places, in the deeps. Your wrath lieth hard upon me, and all your waves you press us down. Selah. You have put mine acquaintance far from me. You have made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up, I cannot come forth. Mine eye languisheth by reason of affliction. I have called upon you, O Lord. Every day I have spread forth my hands unto you. Wilt you work wonders for the dead? Or shall the shades arise and give you thanks? Selah. Shall your mercy be declared in the grave, or your faithfulness in destruction? Shall your wonders be known in the dark, your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But as for me, unto you, O Lord, do I cry, and in the morning doth my prayer come to meet you. Lord, why castest you off my soul? Why hideth you your face from me? I am afflicted at the point of death. From my youth up I have borne your terrors. I am distracted. Your fierce wrath is gone over me. Your terrors have cut me off. They come round about me like water all the day. They compassed me about together. Friend and companion have you put far from me, and mine acquaintance into darkness. All right, let's go back up to verse 1, and we'll see we have a song. It's a psalm, or a psalm of the sons of Korah, and Korah means bald, and that's those that's had their glory removed. In a similitude, it doesn't necessarily mean bald people have, or people that are bald have no glory. We're using it as a similitude, and this are the sons, or those that come forth from those. They were among the priests. And once again, we have a song for the leader. God is our leader. God always is the leader. There is God, and there is no other. And this is going to be upon the Mahalath Leannoth. And the Mahalath is an instrument with strings, and it's a harp or a lyre or uh, an instrument that has many strings and many memories, many things, many twanging sounds, tones that come forth that we can hear to cause to remember God. Then, though, it's going to be a more somber sound. Got a little mourning sound to it, because Leannoth is for the sick or the afflicted, and Maskil is its instructions. We are instructed of Haman. Haman is the faithful, and he is the Ezrahi, or one of the Ezrahi. Uh, Possible reference is in First Kings there. Depends on what version you are, in chapter 4 or 5. He may have been one of the wise men of the land, these sons of the Ezrahi. We know Ethan was. Uh, the Ezrahi means the native, or the native, those that were from that land, those that were born there. We get that intention, but it literally means to rise up out of the soil, these that come forth from the earth. And we're going to pick it up here in verse 2. O Lord, God of my salvation, what time I cry in the night before you, and this time when we cry in the night or in this period of darkness before God, and we're going to find out it's that the period of darkness, and it's a period of sickness, a period of disease, a period of a time when the seems like uh, possibly that we're being punished for something. Maybe we feel like that sometimes, but it's not like that. Uh, it's not always like that. We'll find out for the just man. We all have to go through this period. Uh, this period we can call the end. 3. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear unto my cry. And when this period comes upon me, and I cry in the night, let my prayer come before you. And listen to me, O Lord. Listen to my cry. Listen to my prayer. Because these are going to be the earnest expectations of my soul. 4. For my soul is sated with troubles, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. This is that period of time we're talking about, this period of darkness. This time when my soul draws nigh to the grave. Uh, my my soul is sated. My soul is sated. Sated kind of gives me the insinuation that it means satisfied with troubles, but I'm not satisfied with trouble. Uh, this this word it would probably be better to be full or filled with troubles, and my life draws nigh to thee. I'm reaching the end of my days. 5. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am become as a man that hath no help. Counted as one that goes down into the pit, and that's the grave, compared to counted with, numbered with, reckoned with, set in order with those that are dead. Even though he's not dead, we're not dead. See, that's to not be dead yet. Just the I am become as a man that hath no help. Become like a man that ain't got no help or got nobody to support him. The soul does. The soul, it becomes like that when it slips off into transgression. It's a similitude between how death compares to the death of the soul. 5. I am counted with 6. Set apart among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, whom you rememberest no more, and they are cut off from your hand. Be set apart from among the dead, separated. That means to be separated among the dead. Even among the dead, there's a separation, see, of in the death, to be separated like those that were slain in the grave. And these that were slain, or these that come out in war, or to come out um, uh, in a similitude of battle, to be slain, whom you rememberest no more. God, to be put out of the remembrance of God is to be dead. And that's when they're cut off from God's hand. When they no longer are being used to do God's work, we'll find out that they die. People die. And this is just a similitude of what happens to the soul when it dies. See, it's no longer able to be in the works of God. It's no longer, we can't see it. We'll find out, though, there are many of like spirit. There are many souls who are the same in understanding, and these they tend to group up. But we'll find out that if we all need to have God's understanding, we all need to have God's knowledge and wisdom. God give us all understanding from the beginning when He gave us the Torah. 7. You have laid me in the nethermost pit, in dark places in the deeps. And you have laid me in the nethermost pit, in dark places, even in the deeps. That's where they make their graves, these dark places, in the deeps of the oceans, in the nethermost pit. The nethermost, that's the lowest possible pit. It has to be put down into the earth. There's, however you want to look at it. That's what it is. It's actually to be in the grave. And we're talking about one that's in the grave already. And he's crying to God, calling out to God from the grave. And we're using this as a similitude of the soul that has transgressed, or the soul that is suffering death, uh, to the similitude of this one who's actually in the grave. Because, see, even in the grave, he is God. 8. Your wrath lies hard upon me, and all your waves you press us down. Selah. Your wrath, or your anger, your judgment, it lies hard upon me. It's upon me. And I suffer. It's like being dead. All your waves, these waves here are these breakings. The breakings are upon me. The word is mishbar, mishbar, uh, and it's like a breaking, or these things that are crashing down and pressing down. It's like being hammered lower and lower and lower into the earth. Selah. 9. You have put mine acquaintance far from me. You have made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up. I cannot come forth. And you have put mine acquaintance far from me. Those people I know, people I usually go around and see, and it's like being shut up. We're going to compare it to this. You have made me an abomination unto them. Uh, they see a diseased person, so to speak. They look upon them as it to be diseased. I am shut up. I cannot come forth. I can't go out and face anybody to show my face, because this feeling of guilt, this feeling of sin or disease or sickness. 10. Mine eye languish by reason of affliction. I have called upon you, O Lord, every day. I have spread forth my hands unto you. Mine eye languisheth by reason of affliction. My eye, my perceptions, even my understandings languisheth. It I, we try to find reason for this. We try to find why this is like this, but then sometimes we're closed off. It's like God's shut us up. It's like God's closed us off. And I have called upon you, O Lord, every day, and every understanding, everything I can think of, every way we can imagine. We spread forth our hands. We show our works unto you. 11. Wilt you work wonders for the dead, or shall the shades arise and give you thanks? Selah. Will you work wonders for the dead? Yes, God does work wonders for the dead. God said, when I bring you forth from your graves, you'll know I'm God. So, and God wants you to experience that drawing out, that drawing forth from the grave, because God has ability. And sometimes when you sin, you kind of feel like this, you have this feeling that it's all over. But God has a way to straighten you up, stand you back up on your feet like a little child who's falling down, brushes you off, gives you a little pat on the back, and gets you started again. See, because he has those abilities. He's the God of heaven and earth, and the God of the grave as well. Shall the shades arise and give you thanks? Yes, they shall. The shades shall come to life. Shades are those that are shadowed. And there's two ways we can look at a shadow. We can look at a shadow as like it's in a place of protection. Sometimes we need it. And then sometimes a shade or a shadow becomes that which is in the way of the light, interference we can't really see. So we have to look at it from both ways. But either way it goes, those that seek the protection, they'll be definitely giving God thanks for the protection he gives them. And those that stand in the shade of a lesser light or a lesser understanding, those that have something that's in the way of God's true understanding, the wisdom, knowledge, what he gave you in the beginning, common sense, the ability to think for yourself, the ability to have understanding. God created everybody in a equal manner, in a way uh, all have the same ability to call on God. And it doesn't matter where you're at, what stage of life you're in. He's standing right there waiting for you. 12. Shall your mercy be declared in the grave? Your faithfulness in destruction? Shall your mercy be declared in the grave? Yes, it shall. And we do declare God's mercy in the grave. God's faithfulness in destruction. Even that we see before us, because even there God's faithful. God has given some kind of an example where we can witness this is what happens. See, there are two sides to every street, two banks to every stream. They divide it. The law does the same. It's like a river of understanding flowing, and when it goes forth, it just simply divides, and there's nothing we can do about these things. It is just the facts of life. 13. Shall your wonders be known in the dark, and your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? Shall your wonders be known in the dark, in the dark places where the light's closed down? We'll find out even when there is no light, the knowledge comes forth to know that the light comes. The light comes with the knowledge. The morning comes. The future comes. Tomorrow comes. The next day. Time moves forward. It doesn't remain. There's always more to it. And your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness, we'll find out God has the ability to call to remembrance, because they try to cause you to forget who you are, where you come from, what your abilities are, what you're capable of. But God knows what you can do. God knows you've got ability. He's the one that gave it to you in the beginning. When He gave you your understanding and your knowledge, He gave you the ability to stand up. 14. But as for me, unto you, O Lord, do I cry, and in the morning doth my prayer come to meet you. But as for me, unto the Lord do I cry. It's unto God. I'm going to make my prayers. I'm going to call out to God when I'm in trouble. I ain't going to call out to nobody else. Not when nobody can help me but the Lord. These periods of time, even when I go into the grave, I'll be calling out to God. Because in the morning, that's the morning, that light that's coming forth, that's tomorrow. My prayer shall meet the Lord there in my earnest expectations of it. 15. Lord, why castest you off my soul? Why hidest your face from me? Why cast you off my soul? We'll see. God doesn't cast us off. God's always right there to turn, show us comfort, give us the understanding we need. It's perspective sometimes. We sometimes do get in positions, and we have to call out to the Lord and ask Him not to hide His face. Make these things plain, Lord, to me. Wherein I have erred, if I have. We always want to be at peace with God, be in peace with understanding and knowledge. And it's a very simple thing. It's a very simple thing. One must keep himself clean. 16. I am afflicted, and at the point of death. From my youth I have borne your terrors, and I am distracted. I am afflicted at the point of death. And obviously in sickness, and obviously in this example, we find the from my youth up, obviously somebody who is born sickness for a long time. We find out that God, there's always a lesson, some understanding. God is trying to get you to experience something, and sometimes we have to pay real close attention to what God's trying to say. I have borne your terrors, and I am distracted. These terrors, this word terror, the word is amal, Emma, and it's dread, it's terror, it's dread, it's fear, horror. But this dread is really, I think, would be fear. Fear uh, would be probably a better translation. I am distracted or kind of confused, twirling around, dizzy in a sense. Uh, and we'll find out when we sin. This is kind of what God does. He gives us some confusion. It seems like there's no understanding. Sometimes we have to get the lesson. Sometimes it's a lesson. God lets us learn lessons sometimes through this way, um, to see if we love God, to see if we're going to turn, see if we're going to return to God's understanding. Because no matter where you're at, God's there. 17. Your fierce wrath has gone over me. Your terrors have cut me off. Your fierce wrath. And it's like uh, the understanding that we're under the judgment of God. It's like these waters being described here, these understandings that come will cover us over. Kind of like those that uh, didn't listen to Noah in the beginning when he had the ark until the waters covered him. This is what we're talking about with these terrors have cut us off. The fear, the dread. We think that we are so imperfect now that God won't have nothing to do with us, but sometimes God lets us make a little mistake because He knows we'll be all right. He knows we got ability, and He wants to see if we can use it. God, in a way, kind of testing you to make you stronger. God preparing you for great things. 18. They come round about me like water all the day. They compassed me about together. They have come around me like this water all the day, and every understanding is all around. And we got to sort through it. We got to get through it. It's easy enough. It's like swimming. We're trying to get back to the rock. Get back to that rock. I told you about that rock, didn't I? It's like a little rock out in the middle of the oceans, and some swim off and never come back. See, they get lost in the sea of understanding. They get lost in the waters of the world. But we are going to swim back to the rock. And even though they compass me about, even though I can't find it, I can't see it, I know God's got me in the right path. 19. Friend and companion have you put far from me, and mine acquaintance into darkness. Friend and companion. More like family and friend, we should say, have you put far from me. Uh, Nobody can help me. We get ourselves in these positions, and people will say, I wish I could help you. I wish I could do something for you. When we know that there's just literally nothing they can do. These are the dark places. These are the places of death. These are the places of sin. But God's there, and God can get you out. See, God has the ability to give you the strength, stand you up, put you back in the path, get you back on this road. See, brush you off, wash you up, clean you up, get you back in your order. Even though nobody else will have anything to do with you, you can walk with God and you can talk with God. God will make peace with you, and God will make a covenant with you there. Even when your acquaintances, mine acquaintance into darkness, this place of darkness, everybody we know, nobody wants nothing to do with us. Sometimes we get in these positions. But God is always going to be merciful. And I'm going to talk about His mercy forever. Because if we didn't have God's mercy, there just wouldn't be any. We're going to move forward. Psalms 89. Turn and return.